with China, you can just come and take a land. You have to explain why. If you were to do this with a club, just imagine tomorrow Google is investing in India, or Elon Musk is investing with a perpetual lease. Can you just come and take over the land this way? As long as the objectives of the clubs are being fulfilled, you cannot do it. Number two, now you come to what is the other thing that's being spoken on social media, that the mismanagement. That's not the reason the government has spoken. But for the mismanagement, the government itself went to NCLT and NCLAT. They got an order in their favor. They should have done the necessary changes. However, I saw the budget of the balance sheet of the last year of the club. It's now in a profit of 9 crores something lakh. So it's actually come in a profit. And further reforms are required. You can do it. You don't have to take away a club. Now, this club has a legacy. If you still want to take away my land, you have all the right, you want to take away, at least talk to me. At least have a conversation with me. At least restore my legacy by telling me, we'll move you here, you can have your process there. You can't just arbitrarily, like North Korea, China, come and say, suddenly there's a security threat, we won't tell you what it is, and you have to leave and we will not bother because you're too elite. That doesn't work. It won't even uphold in court, and therefore the government committed in court, there will be no action taken because the government would have got a tight slap on its face. The fact is that you will have to talk to the members, you'll have to rehabilitate them, the people who are working. This idea of elite, non-elite, let me just go. Why is then all these MPs staying in these big bungalows? I don't even want to go to other offices where the bureaucrats here, two serving ex-bureaucrats here. Why do they get all the facilities? So, I mean, are we a country that does not, that wants to take away from the haves? Why don't you give halves to more people? I think that's a silly argument. And the last thing that has been finally being spoken about is that there's some illegal activity. Now, please understand, these are all vague terms that we don't know what it is. If you don't define it, you can't. For example, in Sector 16 Noida, you have a film city, which is given for the purpose of media. XYZ Media House is running a media channel. They'll also have a cafeteria. They'll also have maybe a bookshelf or whatever, a library there, a bookstore there, whatever, a gym there. As long as the main objective of that film city is being met, you can't arbitrarily come and say, I'll take this away and I'll break down your media houses.
Yes.
And where does this end? Where does this end? Does this end only at the Delhi Gymkhana? Does this end at Film City Noida? Abhijit will tell you, and he's an expert on defense. Today, you can target sitting in China. I mean, when we targeted Rawalpindi, Nurka, we didn't even cross the LOC. Targeting can happen over distance. So you have to be prepared for it. And you must have a conversation and restore the legacy. That's all I'm saying. If you do this, it'll be a very bad precedence if the government bulldozes and takes land away. It can't work like that in a democracy, and I don't think the laws will allow it.
See, this is the point, Abhijit. I heard you talking another debate, I think maybe with Barkha, that about the perpetual lease. And you said, it is a lease and there is a clause where the government can take away for various reasons in terms of security. But, when the club was bought, there was no sale deed, but there was a perpetual lease deed. There are so many properties that are leasehold. Half of Noida is leasehold. And tomorrow they'll come and take away our houses. I mean, what is the government trying to establish with this precedent?
So first, let me segue into what Tehseen said. I think it was his beloved party leaders, Shri Jawaharlal Nehru ji and Miss Indira Gandhi ji, who brought in the first amendment, which completely took away our property rights. So none of us actually have the right to property in this country at all. And according to him, they were both highly democratic leaders, number one. And the clauses being used right now are those very same clauses. It's not the Land Sealing Act, but they were also enacted by Shri Nehru ji and
Indira Gandhi.
Number one. Number two, we need to understand a lot of what is being said applies to private property as opposed to lease. Even private property in this country is not sacrosanct. In this case, it is a lease. Now, when you invoke security, it is government invoking eminent domain where it can take back any land, private or public land, for whatever reason. In case of Gymkhana, it is a perpetual lease where the Supreme Court has mentioned certain categories. Now, under those, and there are 4 categories, only 2 are relevant to this. The first is there should be no breakage of the lease terms. And the second one is that the tenant has upheld all the required rules and things like that. Right. Now, rules, sure enough, the government took over. There are now 2 management committees. There is the official management committee and there is the non-official management committee, which people seem to think is the actual committee kind of thing. The second issue is in terms of breakage of the terms of the lease. Now, yesterday, Major Atul Dev, he showed me a very interesting document. It is not only the main building, which is classified as heritage. It is the main building and the campus which is classified as heritage.
Yes.
Which means every single cottage that has come up, every single building that has come up, every single tennis court that has come up since after 1918 is a violation of the original terms of the lease. The government has totally listed a total of 53.
But it was leased as a club, no? It was not leased as in terms of a
Which doesn't
heritage
matter.
site.
Which doesn't matter. If the campus is listed as heritage, that is 53 times that the heritage clause has been violated. See, if a lawn is declared heritage, you can't just dig up the lawn, right? Now, the thing is, the government has cited none of this. Their order is very clear. It is security.
Right.
Security means there is no appeal to it. Even in the Supreme Court, what will the Supreme Court say? They'll say what they said for the Rafale, give us the security rationale in a sealed envelope. And that's it. Once national security is invoked out here, there is no this thing to it. Now, lastly, before I finish, if you'll permit me to say this, Tehseen is...
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.